Okay, so good morning, everybody. I'm never quite sure when we're going live. So Jenny Lyon here, your fearless light leader. I'm here this morning to speak to Kirsty, one of my dear clients and friends, and we want to have a conversation. Really, I'm just going to introduce her to you guys, and then you can learn a little bit. I'm just going to see if I'm live here. Make sure I am. Should be fine. Yeah, just make sure I'm live. Should be fine. I'm just going to check this out. So if you guys can hear us and see us, let us know, because we want to know that you do. Yeah, we are live in there. Great. Okay.
Yeah.
So I can see that. So welcome, everybody. The reason I'm doing these interviews is I think, it's really important for people to hear what deep inner work means, like body activations, how navigating your own energy can really not upgrade your own life, but actually upgrade your business and everything else that you're doing. It's like an expansion of all, I suppose. That's kind of the best way to put it. And what I've experienced myself is that every time that I go to my next level, or I'm doing something to improve my life and my business, it definitely, especially in my life, it definitely improves my business as well. So it's almost like it goes hand in hand. So here today, we're talking with Kirsty, who she went from wounded feminine, which is kind of not a nice way to be, well, at the time, and then into Empowered Awake Creatrix, which she is now. So thank you for coming online here with me, Kirsty. So Kirsty and I met when was it?
2016.
Yeah, that's right. And then you came back from Thailand.
I just come back from Thailand,
Yeah.
and you were literally, I think, the first new person that I met, which has always been significant to me because I believe that the universe brings in what you need when you need it and all that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we did loads of stuff together over the years, haven't we? We've done, you've done my soul contract. We've done removing crystals. We've done obviously the energy work around all that as well.
Yeah.
You've been instrumental, I would say, in me kind of really stepping up into my masculine in terms of business, like providing me with a very clear guide towards how it is that I can utilize the masculine energies. Naturally, I fall very much into my feminine, and that serves me super well in my path. But you've got to be able to keep the balance right. And there are so many incredible parts to your divine masculine as well. So to leave them on the shelf, as it were, and stay in your feminine, you need to be able to amalgamate it all to be able to create and to be able to serve. So it's kind of brings it all full circle, right?
Exactly. So just tell us a little bit about, what happened in Thailand, just briefly, and how you felt when you came back. I mean, you'd gone through quite a big transformation.
Yeah. So basically we moved over there in 2008, which obviously was a big financial crash year as well. My husband left a business here that was supposed to be funding us while we were over there so that we could kind of start our new life. But it wasn't, on every level, my life just changed almost overnight as soon as we moved over there. And I had what we call in yoga a dark night of the soul, like a proper sort of crisis. Like just a proper crisis of who I am, why I'm here, like on every single level, as a mother, as a wife, as a friend, as a family member, as a person here in the world. Why am I even here? Like, would anybody miss me? I went into massive depression, anxiety, and just closed off, had suicidal thoughts, just a really kind of very, very dark time. And right at the kind of the bottom of that, I remember I had 2 pregnancies in amongst this time as well. My 2 daughters were conceived and born within my 4-year depression period. And so obviously all the hormones and everything like that, but plus all the wanting to be secure as a woman when you're pregnant, right? It's all that kind of wanting to feel like you've got people around you, that there is that all the safety things are in procedure as well, like should anything happen. I was going to like a little local doctor for my checkups, who barely spoke English but was super, super sweet. Unfortunately, I've got 3 kids, so I'd had 1 pregnancy before, so the other 2 I was kind of online all the time and just reading, researching all the time as to whether I was doing the right thing and what trimester I was in, what week, all that sort of stuff. But that heightened my anxiety for sure. And yeah, I when my second daughter, well, my third child was born, I really dropped really low. She had an accident, and she fell in a pool and nearly died, and I managed to get her out and get her breathing again. And she was fine actually, but it just was almost the last straw. That was just it, and I just cracked and broke. And would cry like all day, every day, pretty much. My husband didn't know what to do, and I just had nobody else around me. And then when I was sort of sobbing to myself one morning on the floor in my bathroom, I just kind of got a drop in that, you know what, you need to find you again. Like, who have you become? You don't even recognize who you are. You know, you need to find you again. And that started me on my journey of trying to find me, trying to find, and what it was that I was going to kind of, you know, who it was that I really was, you know, apart from being wife, apart from being mother, you know, roles which I didn't really feel like I was particularly being good at the time. And so this sort of journey of self-discovery really led me into empowerment, like you say, in all areas of my life. Like, I became a very empowered mother, very important part of our family, actually, where I'd always taken this step back before and let my husband kind of lead just because it's easier, you know, he's quite a dominant male. I really began to kind of step forward and step up and asking for what I wanted, and then just having the universe just give it back to you. And I think this is why it's really important to be very clear on your self-development path, and like you're saying, your energetic mastery, because what you put out, you draw back in. It just is, like, it's a universal law. There is no denying any of this. And I have seen it in my life and in my clients' lives, in my family's lives, in my husband's life, in my kids' life. You know, it's crazy, over and over again. We're these incredible creators. So to not have this energetic mastery, to have this superpower in your corner is, you know, it's just, is life becomes so much harder. I think that's the thing. You know, when you're in the flow, when you're really bringing it in, when you know exactly what you want and you're going for it, and you're, you know, you know what you want, you create that idea with your feminine, and then you take the action with your masculine, right?
But it's like the force is with you.
Absolutely.
It really is like Star Wars, the force is with you.
Exactly. And it
really
just
like that
beautiful kind of cycle, you know, like that, we call it kind of like the Kundalini in yoga as well, with this energies manifesting together, so like in a spiral, sort of taking you up and up and up, and that's where I just see my path as having gone, if I'm honest.
Exactly. So it was almost like the environment and the place that you were in Thailand, because you were out of your I'm just going to reflect it back to you, because you were out of your normal comfort zone. Everything that you maybe have believed in before was sort of crumbling, because of also the environment was different, right?
Absolutely. And it wasn't even just that, it was all the things that I'd had planned for the future, you know, like when you emigrate, there's a lot of planning goes on, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of creation, and all of that just fell away within the first month, 6 weeks. I mean, I can literally remember when my heart broke, you know, like just talking to my husband and recognizing that he was after something different when we created this idea together. And it seemed to me that since my pregnancy, I just kind of got shoved away, and that he was going on with creating what he wanted, and I was just going to sit barefoot at home, literally.
It just sounds like you lost structure and you lost foundation, really, because you were just kind of like, although you decided to go there, you were thrown in, so you were like in this, I call it, you know, obviously there was a dark matter of soul, and that is a lot deeper than you know, a wounded feminine kind of behavior. When I talk about wounded feminine, it's about, you know, you a bit like in poor me, not poor me, but like, you know, please take care of me, I have no, the power is outside of me, you know, I can't do anything, all that. It's like the wounded feminine. And that's really common with women, because we you know, from birth, really, we were installed to believe that we are not powerful in a way, you know, it's going down ancestral lines. So we, you know, without even being taught anything, it's kind of running in our DNA. So when you get thrown into a new situation like you did, obviously that was very, you know, it's just crumbled underneath you. But what I wanted to say as well is that, so you came back to the UK, we started doing some work, but you kind of ready to really you know, really start creating your, you know, you were the yoga and you were qualified as a life coach, and you really wanted to make your home in a way with that. So
yeah, very much
yeah. So just tell us a little bit. Yeah, just tell us a little bit more, because what did we do? We did so we did the light, body and soul contract, and we did the divine healing and things, didn't we? And then, oh yeah, maybe what happened with your how you, through that journey, you felt more, you told me this before, but more empowered to just ask for what you want, as in, and it happened naturally. It wasn't like you had to force yourself. Talk about this a little bit with your husband and that.
Yeah, so I yeah, I mean, I think through a lot of like all the conditioning that you say and all that sort of stuff, like there is a position that subconsciously as women, I think we all feel that we occupy in the world, and essentially that tends to be secondary to men. And so when I came back, I really struggled with the dynamic between what I had to do as a woman in the home, looking after my kids, supporting, you know, family life, and holding that nurturing space, and being able to step forward as a businesswoman, you know, and an entrepreneur, and essentially somebody who just knew exactly what they wanted to create, but was still finding her way of how to get there. So there was quite a lot of self-doubt because of those lots of, you know, different things. And I remember specifically, like, you know, doing the light body activation work with you, Jen, and, you know, I've had a few past life regression experiences throughout my life up until this point, which have always kept me kind of looking and searching. But then I remember a particular one that we did together. Do you remember when the whole side of my body just went?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that? And it was about me having, like, being a slave in sort of, you know, God, years and years ago.
One of the past lives, yes.
Yeah, one of my past lives. And yeah, about just, like, it was just so significant to me. It just,
well, it was almost numb. It was almost like you were paralyzed.
Mad, the whole right side of my body. So basically, in my you know, my subconscious or my vision, I was a slave that had been chained to this kind of massive rock, and I was trying to get away. And one of these big kind of slave driver guys, like massive tall guy with kind of different like marks all over his body and sort of costume and that, and went and broke my ankle. So I had this big sledgehammer and went,
yeah, I remember that.
on my right ankle. And at that moment of contact, the whole right side, from kind of just underneath my armpit all the way down to the tip of my toes on the right side, just was dead. Like, I could not move it at all. It was the weirdest thing.
Remember how I was working? So basically, who doesn't understand it or haven't had this done, basically I was removing the wounding, wasn't I? I was healing the wounding from the past life.
Yeah.
And since then, I don't know what happened after that, but since then, I mean, things were changing, you know, it's an evolution.
Yeah. Well, I think like it's some of these sorts of things that really give you, like, because life is about experience, right? And it's the experiences that you get that really enable you to own your own truth. Yes. So whether or not I want all these drop-ins keep coming into me, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to get them. This is me. This is who I am. Sure. And, you know, I have actually now I look at it more as a gift rather than a sort of a you know, a bit of a confusing tool, really. And so, you know, particularly that when my whole physical body just related immediately, I understood the strength of the mind, the strength of the belief system, the strength of all the lives that we bring in, and the gifts and the innate talents that we all bring in. And I understood that literally through every cell of my body in an instant. You know, it was that immediate experience that gave me just that truth, just as a drop in, and just as well, that's the way it is. There's no denying it. So super strong, and it just pushed away self-doubt. It just, and from then on, it was just, okay, step after step after step, and often it feels hard. And I think this is why, you know, it's important to have somebody coach you. I mean, I am a holistic happiness coach. It's important for someone to coach you and hold you in that space.
Oh yeah,
that's right for you.
Yeah,
and also be able to, you know, coach and but also help heal along the way, right?
And I think what it is as well, when people feel it in their bodies, it's real.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So it's almost like until you have those experiences. And for those who not familiar with the past life stuff, basically when you heal past life things, anything, it could be you know, from any past life, hundreds of past lives, you can stack them up as well. What happens is that you're freeing up more of your cells and your DNA to actually remember also more of your gifts. So the more we kind of clear, the more we can plug into remembering the gift that we've had before, i.e. whether that is like having psychic powers, whether that is to be a healer yourself, whether that is to be, you know, a leader in some sort of shape or form, or, you know, something that you did in previous lives successfully. So we're here to remember that as well, and that frees up. So I mean, I think, you know, as a result of any type of energy work, this becomes more, you just like, oh, I'm almost remembering how I used to do this. I mean, I don't know if you've had that. I mean, I have that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it becomes, like you say,
and it becomes like second nature, because you know you've done it before.
And there's no doubt, there's no, or, you know, this whole idea that we've constructed within our societies that you have to be kind of qualified to be able to have.
Oh, no, you don't need to be qualified.
None of that. You just know. Yeah, you know how to do it. You know what needs to be done, and you do it. And that's, again, key, right? Knowing what needs to be done and then doing it and having that clarity. But it, you know, it can be really scary. Like, you know, we're talking obviously of people that have worked through this for years now, but when you're initially on the journey and you can feel the ebb of it coming in, but you don't necessarily want to dip your toes into that tide, you know, it's great to have somebody standing there with you and going, this is going to be okay, you know, like it's not always going to be easy, but it's going to be okay. And, you know, that's super important. You know, it really helps take you forward.
Exactly. So tell me more about, so you really enjoy doing this work together, and I just want to talk to those people who are maybe considering to maybe even join the program, the Magnetic Queen Expansion, because obviously in there we will do energy work, but we're also doing some marketing work. Kirsty and I haven't specifically done, you know, specific marketing work together. However, your business, we've done some work together last year in a group program. Just tell me a little bit about how you became, you said earlier, like your you know, step more into your masculine, more focused, more doing, but doing in a creative and sort of more focused way without procrastinating, maybe, I don't know, or being fearful.
With self-doubt, I think, really.
Just self-doubt.
Taking the step, taking the chance. So I think I mean, I you know, when I look back actually now, the steps that I took initially were very, very small in comparison to the leaps that I take now I just go out there and I do, you know, and I think I've said, and what's happened there is the rise, it's particularly in energy coming back to me. So I put out a lot less in terms of my energy, you know, because my energy, when I put it out, there's the creative side of it and there's the you know, the vibrational side of it, if you like, but apart, like from a personal perspective as well, it's very much about how much that takes out of your life and how much. So now I actually find I work less and earn more, which is a beautiful dynamic to be in, because it means that it actually feeds me more so that I can give out more, because I've got more time for my kids, I've got more time for my family, more time for my life, the things that I love to do. You know, I've picked up 2 musical instruments and started playing them in the last couple of years.
Amazing.
Yeah, just stuff like that. So you know, again, like this, being able to harness the energy and move it within you and then out is really, really important.
Yeah, so Kirsty was in, for those who are listening, Kirsty was in a 3-month group program with me last year, where we were, you know, working on energy upgrades, and we were also working towards, you know, ideas of how she wanted to expand the business. And at the time, you were coaching, weren't you, for a company, right? An organization.
So working across this is a company that works in New Zealand, Canada and the UK, and I started with the UK like network, and as I began to kind of grow and develop and really hold this space for them, they extended that work out to like they're all 3 stations, so like international across the world. Which was thrilling for me. It was quite exhausting because obviously it's like multiple time zones, but you know, it was thrilling for me, and it felt like you know, absolute expansion. And of course, with the responsibility expansion comes the financial expansion, comes everything else. And you know, so it's
so you're in a pretty good place now, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I mean, you know, like for me, it's given me so much more freedom. Like I say, like for me, it was meant having that increasing income wasn't just about like them being able to go out and live the high life. I'm not actually really that person. I'm quite a simple person, you know, like I'm very kind of grassroots, but it did mean that I was able to kind of pay off our debts, chunks off the mortgage, you know, that I was able to buy my kids experiences and have experiences with them that, you know, I perhaps would have just shelved for when I'm earning the money, you know, and I didn't.
But it's freedom.
Exactly. That's
it's freedom, really.
I mean, and I think that's what I've learned as well. Like I always thought it was kind of about almost about accumulation, which is the conditioning, right? This is what we've been sold, that you accumulate for success. But actually what I've recognized is that I only want the money in now so that we can do less. I want this kind of rolling income so that my husband doesn't have to work, as hard as he feels he does, so that we can do more in terms of traveling and seeing the world. I'm not interested in buying things particularly. I'm interested in taking my children and my family out on life experiences that I know now from my experience will take them in and through subsequent lives, in this lifetime, in this reality now and beyond, because that's the stuff that you carry with you. It's that stuff. It's the experiences, because I've recalled them. It's the intensity of those experiences, whether they be positive or negative. There have been times when I've had recalls from previous lives that have brought me to my knees with absolute joy, where my heart is just, and I'm crying and I can't stand, because I'm just absolutely, just blown away literally by it. And so I know that it's those experiences that you take with you. So rather than moving into this whole idea of, really consumerism and commercialism, it's more for me about being able to provide experiences for everybody that I love and myself, so that, we have these going forward, because you only ever benefit.
Yeah, exactly. So am I right to summarize it like this, that Kirsty came back from the UK, from Thailand, and you had no business?
Yep.
You had recovered from your dark night of the soul, for sure, right? Yep. It was better, wasn't it?
Yeah, much better.
But it was an imbalance in the marriage, because you were not really knowing your places, and he was just kind of left to do what he wants to do, and then there you were.
Yep.
So that was a really frustrating situation for you, because you had so much more to give and you wanted to help other people and run a business. Yep. So now you are much more empowered in your, I'm sorry, I'm just reflecting it back to you. So now you're much more empowered and more like in your, just like you just ask for what you want. There's more balance in your marriage, so that it just reflects how more balanced you are inside of your masculine and your feminine within you. Mm-hmm. And you're working less, but you're earning more, and you have created a stable platform for yourself, and you don't have these issues anymore as much. Is that right?
Yeah.
Like I'm just. Yeah,
they still, the shadows still come back in, right? But I mean,
we have whole flare-ups,
wrapped it away now. Whereas before, I would have sat with it and thought about it and internalized it. Now it's just like, no.
Nah, and so that's what we call it creatrix, because actually, what you have created is to find your own freedom and your own, like almost succeeding on purpose, if you like. Within your container that you have, which is your family, which is your life here, which is your work, your soul work that you do, and able to do it all. Okay, so we have bad days, right? But do it all and feel good about all of the aspects, right? Yeah. Because as before, you either felt bad as a mother, or you felt bad as a business person, or you felt bad as a wife. Yeah. Which is like, it feels like you can't win anywhere. I mean, I've been there as well.
Yeah,
in the same place. I either felt bad as a mother, or I felt bad as a wife, or I felt bad as a leader and healer with the things that I do, because I couldn't do it all. But now I feel amazing at all of it, which is like, that's the place we want to be, right?
And you can see it reflected back to you. It's not about arrogance. It's not about saying, I'm amazing at everything. It's recognizing that everybody's happy, business is going well, you're really happy. There's nothing feels like too much of a struggle.
No. Easy. Yeah.
You have everything you need. And when you step up even more, like this is the other thing, because all these other, low key emotions like guilt and like self-doubt always keep you so low vibe. And when you don't step back into that, you can only ever go up. It's kind of like the step.
You only go up, exactly.
Yeah. You can step right back down, or you can just say, no, I'm just going to step to here. So which means you haven't got so far to climb the next time. Exactly. And I think actually, like, I've joined your soul-led group community as well, and specifically because I want to be in a community, and I think that's really important as well. It's not just about being here and doing it on your own. I've been it for a long time, but it's not. You can again, you're missing a trick if you're not
using. You're missing a trick when you don't take the support.
You really are.
Look, I can admit here, I am in 2 memberships myself. I've just signed up for a year coach.
Yeah.
Like, And I have so many friends. Like I have Nicholas, I have Anna, I have Julia, Anna, I have lots of other. I've got yourself, but I mean, you've got people that I know. I've got Nora. I've got people that are Nicholas. I've got these people that I could just like on a push of a button, I can just get the help I need.
Yeah.
So maybe people look at me and say, "Oh, yeah, she's doing so well on her own." Absolutely not.
No, it's never.
No one is supposed to be on their own. I mean, that's really important. So I mean, that's why I created. So I mean, people might be listening here, and you might be in the Connected Soul Club already, or you might be considering the Magnetic Queen expansion, which starts. I just want to say this: it starts next Monday. You can still enroll. I'll open the space for 4 more places. And if you have any questions, just drop me a message, because I can talk to you about this and why you should invest in this and why you should go on this journey of, expanding into not just your energy, but also learning and marketing. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. So I realized as well, it was quite interesting. I just want to say this about belonging. And thank you so much for joining Kirsty, the club as well, because I know that you love all this feasting on all the, meditations and activations and everything.
Yeah.
But I actually had a call with a woman yesterday, and she's basically, I'm not going to say name here because of a bit of privacy, but basically feeling lost in her own spiritual awakening. And she was like, what can I have of yours? I said, right, you've just got to join the club and go in there, because it's like low risk. Just go in, £22 a month, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Just do that, start there, feel like because this is another thing as well. Although it's a super low investment, there is still an energetic structure to this.
Absolutely.
If anyone is considering anything like this, you should really think to build something like that as well. If any of you people listening and who are soul-led business owners and want to create a membership, that's amazing, because it is holding something. I mean, it might not be right for everybody, but
it's the chance as well to see other people on the same journey as you are, no matter what stage they're at. And I think that's really important, because it keeps you humble. It keeps you in the development process as well. It's very easy when you've done a lot of work to think, oh, well, I've done, this is too little. But actually, for me, it's constantly about touching ground.
Touching ground, exactly.
Touching ground and touching base with humanity as well, because whatever 5D ascension we're kind of all heading towards, we are here in the 3D.
We're here in our bodies. That's not going to change. And
you know what? There's a great feeling as well to know that you're holding space for other people by just being there, and that you might be able to help along the line. And not everything is for something, and I think that's another thing. It's like, you say it's a low price, but it's a low price for holding a space for a lot of people. It's a low there's a lot of you giving there, Jen, as well. It's not just about it's a low price, it's a low, we've got this whole thing that you get what you pay for, right? And that, buy cheap, buy twice. But actually, in energy work, when you're holding a space for as many people as you are, that's a lot of you giving. And as long as you're always serving, then you're always in that cycle to go up, right? You're always in the heart. And that's
this is, I mean, look, the thing is with a soul club, it's like, yes, of course you pay for what you get. I think memberships, just generally, we're just talking about it now, aren't we? Just generally are just amazing, because it gives people the opportunity to get started. So it's obviously not always for the people that have been doing lots of work. It might not be their right step for development, but be a right step for support, because a lot of my clients are in there who's already my clients, because they just want a little bit of that extra community. But talking about holding space and energetically, this is quite interesting. I'll tell you these things, because I'm very much like, I tell my clients, right, you are empowered already. You have the power within you. You can do what you came here to do. I'm not like babysitting you type of thing. You've got to go and do the work, and I'm here to support you. And if you look at people in this way, then they will rise to that. And also, that's the energy I put in the Connected Soul Club. I mean, I'm not going to ask people, oh, have you gone and done I do ask a little bit sometimes, has anyone started their money workshop yet and stuff, just maybe a question here and there. But it's like, it's down to the person to go and do the work, right? And do the clearings and everything. And I think so many of the people in there are absolutely doing that, and they're getting results. So it's like, although it's a small investment, the person taking the action inside that, whether that is in a private coaching program or a business or a membership or whatever it is, the taking action and committing to the growth is actually the success, right?
Yeah, massive step forward, isn't it? It's a step into it and a step into realization and actualization. Exactly. And that's what it's all about. That is your action step, just being there. You've already taken a step forward from where you were, just by saying, I'm in my tribe. I'm in my tribe, and this is the vibe.
Exactly. And this is what I can only say, for those who are listening here, Kirsty is a massive action taker.
Yeah.
And she commits. I mean, you commit to your growth. You're like, right, give me that clearing. Yes, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
What else do I need to do? Go on, give it to me. I'll do it.
Oh, I love it.
You're like, so, and look at you now. You know, you have taken these steps. You committed to it. You got off your arse and you've done it. So well done. High five. No, but that's you know, I'm so proud of clients that I work with, because when they take action and they do the work, they get massive results.
Yeah,
which is like the whole,
it's like fun as well, doesn't it? Again, it's like pushing past the comfort zones, and it becomes like fun. And this is why I am now. Yeah, come on, give me that. Yeah, come on, let's try that. Do this.
Is the fear gone? Like you don't.
Yeah, I have no doubt that everything is going to be okay. That's like my overriding.
That was the one thing before, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I just have to focus. Like what I've learned now is just to really focus on what it is that I really want. And as long as I'm super clear on that as well. And again, this is why stepping into like these groups is so important, because it keeps narrowing the kind of, you know, the broad spectrum that we all start with. Or maybe it will be like this, and then, well, actually I want it a little bit more like that, and a little bit more like that, and you bring it into what you really want. And as soon as you know what you really want and you go for it, that's when the magic happens.
It's going to happen.
When it just comes back.
I put on a Facebook post last night, because I was like, no, it's not manifest, it's I create. It's like manifest is almost like, oh, I'm hoping that it's going to happen now to me. Oh, I'm manifesting. Am I manifesting? No, it's like I create. I'm making this happen, which is different.
It is. Yeah, all of those things, you know, where it just is. It, you know, it is. I am. It is. I am. It is. I am. That's it. There is no wonder. There is no hope. There is no
or maybe.
No, it is. I am. You know, it really is that simple.
Love it.
Once you start thinking like that as well in your own mind, you know, what is this? It's this. Like, you know, even with kids, right? You know, they're kicking off. What is this? This is tiredness right here.
What is it? They're tired. Okay, what am I going to do about it? Or maybe I should just soothe them and make them calm down a little bit.
Or they're frustrated or whatever. It, you know, what is this? It comes straight back to you. Yeah. No need to overthink again. You know, no need to go cray cray. Just what is it? It is. You know, it becomes like that. The inner dialogue becomes very quick. And whereas before I used to overthink and overcomplicate, now it is I am. What is I am? You know, it becomes very clear cut.
So because this is the thing, right? Am I right to say? I mean, this is my experience. All this work that I've done and all the work that I do with my clients, it seeps in all areas of your life, right? It's like it's not like we're not building just your business, or we're not just working with your leg, you know, or, you know, it's like it goes everywhere, doesn't it?
Well, this is the thing about self-development, and this is why I think it's like almost mankind's best kept secret. You know, like if we were given courses like we're given at school on self-development, there would not be one thing in this world that we could not do, you know, because it would just grow and grow and grow. And yet, you know, so few people are even given the idea that they can develop self. You know, what is self? They don't even know, because they've got this kind of construct of, well, I need to have this and I need to have that, and success looks like this and happiness looks like that. But self-development really, in honesty, is the one overriding factor of it all. If you're happy in self, you take that into every area of your life. If you feel confident, then you'll pursue the things that you dream of, and every accolade that you ever wanted will come to you because you pursue it, because you want it, because you drive for it, you know. And it reflects not just, like, I work on the 5 parts of self, right? So I work on the physical, the mental, the emotional, the energetic, and the spiritual, because once all those 5 are in alignment, you are flying. You know, but you don't have to work. You have to start working on just one, then you work on 2 simultaneously. By the time you work on 3, the other 2 are just bouncing along for the ride.
Well, you take it in bite-sized chunks, don't you? And just keep going with it and everything. I'm just concerned about time, Kirsty, because I'm thinking about my children in there. I'm thinking about you as well. But look, thank you so much for making time to come here, talk a little bit about your journey and your own, you know, success on a deeper level, as well as on the, you know, external level. And yeah, thank you so much, Kirsty. And, you know, I love having you in the club. I love having you with me.
Energetically connected.
Energetically connected. So if anyone has any questions about the Magnetic Queen expansion, let me know. And yeah, that's it. Just let me know and just drop me a message. And any other questions you have about anything else, drop it in the group and I shall answer it. So thank you, Kirsty. I'll catch you soon. If not, I'll catch you definitely in the club.
Absolutely.
Okay, darling.
I don't.
Thank you so much. Okay, thanks. Stay